नमस्कार, आप सभी का स्वागत है। मैं हूं राहुल और आप देख रहे हैं eVidya चैनल्स और NCERT का ऑफिशियल यूट्यूब चैनल। दिस इज आवर स्पेशल सेशन बेस्ड ऑन द डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन ऑफ वर्चुअल लैब्स on DIKSHA and ePathshala augmented reality content. This is the webinar series we are conducting here in this entire week. So today is the third session of the same. हमने कुछ सिमुलेशंस देखे जिसमें हमने ये देखा कि कंटेंट कितना इंटरेस्टिंग तरीके से बनाया गया है। यदि बच्चे उसको अपनी टेक्स्ट बुक के हिसाब से, अपने चैप्टर के हिसाब से पढ़ते हैं तो उन्हें निसंदेह बहुत ज़्यादा आनंद आएगा और वो अपने पाठ को बेहतर तरीके से समझ पाएंगे और पढ़ पाएंगे। और जब एक बार समझ बूझ बन जाती है तो फिर उन्हें वो हमेशा याद रहता है। जैसे पहले कुछ परेशानियां होती थी, हमें याद करना पड़ता था, अब याद करने से बेहतर है कि हम उसे समझ लें। सो दिस इज द टाइम टू बिगिन दिस वंडरफुल सेशन। टुडे इज द थर्ड सेशन. You can also be a part of this live interactive session. If you have any questions or queries, you can dial 8800440559 or be with us on YouTube channel. This is the live streaming you're watching on NCERT's official YouTube channel. You can also use our email IDs of class 6th to class 12th. So this is being telecasted on channel number 6 to channel number 12 eVidya channels. We have Dr. Yashpal Sharma, academic consultant, CIET, NCERT in the studio. Dr. Sharma, namaskar and a very warm welcome again.
Namaskar Rahul ji and thank you.
All right. And we have a team of Amrita University, Miss Srikala P, she is the project manager, and Miss Reshma Bose, she is the research coordinator from Amrita University. So Dr. Yashpal, we would like to welcome our team members from Amrita University again in this session. They are the part of this webinar series. So how would you start today's series and today's webinar? What we are going to discuss in today's session?
So thank you Rahul ji once again and a very warm welcome to all of you in the demonstration of virtual lab and ePathshala augmented reality content that CIT and NCERT has developed. So we will be proceeding. First I will be going through the demonstration of different augmented reality content that we have developed in-house in CIT and NCERT. Along with our app, and then we will request our other panelists, the experts from Amrita University. They can demonstrate on virtual labs on DIKSHA in the different subject areas.
Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. So dear learner, as you have seen that we are demonstrating by using our ePathshala augmented reality app. So what is so special in this app? See, we have the different type of content. So for example, if you are teaching a concept, you must have the different type of content that you are using in your teaching learning process, like image which is already given in our textbook. Sometime we use the video, sometime we use the audio programs, like different type of content, and sometime interactive content. So you will see that if we have access to augmented reality content, so then what is the difference of showing an image or showing a 3D rendered interactive content. So we will go through it. So first let me share my screen, and then we will start from very beginning, that how you can download this app. So you are able to see my mobile phone. So currently this app is available on Play Store. So if you go to the Play Store on your mobile phone, just search for ePathshala AR. Okay, because let me. Okay. Okay. So this is the ePathshala AR mobile app. AR is for augmented reality, from where you can download this app. This app is currently available for Android users, and any mobile phone having Android version above 4.1, they are able to download this app and install on their mobile phone. Okay, and then you can open the app and we can proceed with the simulations. So we are also updating this app because the new version is also available. So here it has a very simple menu that we have. You have to choose the class, then you have to choose the subject, and then the chapter and the topic. And the topic are basically the images which are available in the NCERT textbook. and this content is aligned with the NCERT textbook, and 3D rendered video of these simulations are also available on DIKSHA portals and are mapped with a different concept that we will also see alongside during our presentation, that if you don't have a mobile phone, but if you have access to the DIKSHA portal, you can also see these 3D rendered videos which are available and mapped according to the different concept on the DIKSHA portal. So here we can choose the class. Currently we are developing for secondary classes, and you can choose accordingly class 9th or 10th. And then we are developing the content in science specifically. This content is specifically now available in science. And then choose the chapter. Okay, so for example, let me choose the first chapter from class 9th, and then the topic. Okay, and the topic is say for example figure 1.1, which is the dissolution of salt in water. Okay, so this figure that you are able to see over there, you actually need to scan. When you click on the load activity, this few MB simulation will be downloaded from the internet, and your camera will automatically be open, because this is a very peculiar feature of using augmented reality. And with that camera, you need to scan this image on the textbook. So it means that you also require your NCERT textbook. It doesn't matter it's in hard copy, it's in soft copy, it's a Xerox image, or it's a black and white, it's a color, it doesn't matter, but you actually require this image to scan, because the content is aligned with the NCERT textbooks. Yes, okay, with the same image which is available in the NCERT textbook. Okay. So let me open my textbook that I have chosen class 9. So this is the science textbook. Okay, so in class 9th science textbook, we need to open the chapter number 1, because I have choose the chapter number 1. So this is the science textbook for class 9th. You must have this copy with you, and then the chapter 1, matter in our surrounding, and within chapter 1 I am going to choose the image number 1.1. So this is the image you are able to see, and as my simulation has been downloaded from the internet, now I need to scan. You see that camera is automatically opened, okay, because this is a very peculiar feature of using augmented reality, and I need to scan this image.
This activity helps learners to explain the particle nature of matter.
Okay, so when you scan this one, so it shows and the title you are able to listen with the voiceover, because we have also embedded the navigated voice over there. So you only once need to scan it, and then you can take it away from your textbook. Now you may close the textbook and you perform the simulation on your mobile phone. Since your camera is opened, we have put another AR camera over here on the screen. You are able to see it. If you click this one, then the background will be changing. It's your choice if you want to this camera open or close. Okay, so now I have closed the camera, and then I can perform this simulation seamlessly. So follow the instructions. And learning objectives, if you hide the content which is written, we have a menu. If you click on hide description, so the content will be no more. Okay, if you click on this one, then the content will be available if you want to read along with the listening. So now you can rotate this screen to see it from the any side, because this is a interactive simulation in augmented reality. Now click on the continue button.
Drag the spatula into the beaker containing water to add a few grams of common salt into it.
Okay, so now you need to follow the instructions, like drag this spatula over here.
Now drag the glass rod to stir the mixture and observe the changes in water level and salt condition.
Okay, so now drag this.
What do you observe? Does the level of water change?
So now we have a question embedded over there. that what you observed, whether the level of the water was changed or not, or it's the same. So you can say yes or no. If you say yes, if it's a wrong answer, then it will be colored as red. And if you say no, if it's the right answer in this, and it may say the green color. So let's say, see the color.
The salt has been dispersed throughout the water. The level of water remains the same.
Okay, so this was the observation.
Click on the molecular view button to learn the chemistry behind dissolving common salt in water.
Okay, so as far as this part is concerned, you are able to do this experiment physically also in your lab. And if you don't have a physical lab, you can perform it virtually. And if you have physical lab, then before going to the lab, you can perform this experiment virtually. Now, the important point is to see what's actually happening inside the water when you put that salt. So now we are going to see the 3D molecular structure. So click on molecular view.
When we dissolve salt in water, the salt particles disperse into the spaces present between particles of water. The polar water molecules contain hydrogen ends, H delta plus, and oxygen ends, O delta minus, which interacts with the oppositely charged ions of the salt along with proper orientation. The positive part of the water molecules surrounds the negative chloride ions of salt, and the negative part of the water molecules surrounds the positive sodium ions of the salt. The attractions of the water molecules pull ions of salt apart, which also disrupt the lattice structure, and as a result, the free ions of salt are dispersed into water. In this way, the water dissolves the salt.
Okay, so this is actually
We
happened.
can observe that particles of matter have space between them. We can justify why the dissolution of solid does not change the volume. We can conclude that intermolecular interaction is responsible for the dissolution.
Okay, so the important part is to see what's happening inside that water and how actually the molecules of present in the salt disintegrate and unite with the molecules present in the water, other water molecules. So this is very interesting. Otherwise, we are unable to see these reactions with our naked eyes. So that's why we have this augmented reality simulations where you can actually interact with the simulation and you can proceed the way you like. So let me proceed with the another simulation from class 10. So let the chapter first, and the topic formation of hydrogen gas. This is 1.2. Till the time the activity is loading, let me open my textbook. Okay, so this is the textbook of class 10, and I will be going through the chapter number 1. So chapter number 1 is chemical reactions and equations, and the figure is 1.2 that I need to scan. So this is the figure that actually I need to scan. Since my camera is open, as it has downloaded that activity, I need to scan this with my mobile phone.
Objective. Let us see the changes taking place during the formation of hydrogen gas in a displacement reaction between zinc and sulfuric acid. Click on the continue button to continue.
Okay, so I need to scan only once, and as we have discussed earlier, if you want to change the background, you can click on the AR camera. Okay, so the background will be changing, and if you wanted to hide that descriptions, you can also hide the description from the lower menu. Otherwise, we can continue.
We have taken few pieces of zinc granules in the conical flask. Click on the continue button to click on the bottle containing dilute sulfuric acid. To add a few milliliter acid into the flask so that zinc granules are submerged. Caution: handle the acid with care in the laboratory. Click on the continue button to continue.
Okay, so as we know that the sulfuric acid is very dangerous to handle with the hand sometimes, so we have given that cautions, and it is very important that if you do this simulation virtually first and then go to the laboratory, at least you know what to do when you are physically in the laboratory and you know all the precautions and cautions. So let's proceed with the experiment.
Immediately fix the cork and delivery tube on the mouth of the flask to avoid the escape of hydrogen gas. Observation: when some diluted sulfuric acid is added to the flask, zinc reacts with diluted sulfuric acid and produces zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas along with increase in temperature. Click on the continue button. The change in the temperature of the solution signifies the exothermic nature of chemical reaction. Click on the displacement reaction. Zinc is more reactive than hydrogen and thus displaces hydrogen from dilute acids. In this case, zinc reacts with dilute sulfuric acid to form zinc sulfate along with evolution of hydrogen gas. This is a single displacement reaction between zinc and sulfuric acid. Click on the continue button to continue. Learning outcomes. We can observe a single exothermic displacement reaction between zinc and sulfuric acid. We can identify that the products formed during single displacement reaction between zinc and sulfuric acid are zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. We can write the equation for displacement reaction using scientific convention.
Okay, so this is the another activity that we have demonstrated, and you have seen that we have written the learning outcome, because this is very important for the teachers, that what is the intended learning outcomes after doing this type of experiments. Okay, so we have already done that, and definitely it will help the teachers. So this is as far as augmented reality is concerned today. You go through the Play Store and then download this app, try it, and gives us the feedback. And the new version, as I said, it's today we are updating this new version, and it take almost 24 hours to on the Play Store to be to available to download, and maybe for tomorrow evening, till tomorrow evening you are able to download this new version.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Sharma. This is the wonderful beginning of this third session of this webinar. So let's move ahead with the simulations that we are bringing today for the students.
Definitely.
All right, so I would like to invite the team of Amrita University, Ms. Srikala P. She is the project manager from Amrita University. Srikala ji, good morning.
Thank you, sir.
So welcome on this webinar series, demonstration of virtual labs on DIKSHA and ePathshala AR content. So what are you going to share with us today?
Yes, sir. Today we'll be demonstrating few physics, chemistry, biology, math and English experiments.
Okay, so we can say that this is this will be the PCB class today for the class 12 students.
Yes, sir, exactly.
All right, please.
Myself and Ms. Reshma Bose will be demonstrating from our side.
Okay.
Okay.
So please proceed. Thank you.
Hope the screen is visible, sir.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. Okay. So as you all know, our National Education Policy NEP 2020 has had strongly recommended for creating more contents for the virtual labs with the motive that. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah. With the motive that every student from all corner of India should get access to the contents of virtual labs, no matter if they have access to the physical labs or not. Yeah. So to access the DIKSHA portal, you, select any browser, go to DIKSHA, you can type www.diksha.government.in. This will direct you to the DIKSHA portal. So many initiatives by the DIKSHA are listed here. You could see a banners here. In this, select the second last one, which is for the virtual labs. Click on the explore icon. So this is the landing page for DIKSHA virtual labs. So in the about virtual labs, the users can read about the importance of the virtual labs, why we have introduced so much content in the virtual labs, and how is our alignment with the NCERT syllabus, etc. All are listed here. If we scroll down, it lists the virtual labs e-content. We provide contents for contents from grade 6 to grade 12. So let me start with a physics experiment for grade 12. So click on the explore icon. You could see Hindi medium and English medium listed here. As of now, we provide contents for the English medium. Very soon the contents will be available for Hindi medium as well. So click on this English medium. So for class 12, we have virtual labs contents for mathematics, physics, chemistry and biology. Today I'll be demonstrating for physics experiment, for one of the physics experiment. Click on the physics icon. Yeah. So this will direct you to the physics experiment page for class 12 on the DIKSHA portal. So you could see on the right side, the experiments will be listed. So I'll be demonstrating the experiment. Convert the given galvanometer into ammeter and voltmeter. So click on this experiment. So you could see two sections are given. So in this experiment, if you click on this experiment PDF section, scroll up, it will show the lab manual content, the entire lab manual content for that particular experiment. Scroll down. So in the explanation resources, click on this icon, convert the given galvanometer into ammeter and voltmeter. Scroll up. A screen like this will be visible. You could see link 1 and link 2. This experiment has the content for conversion of the given galvanometer into ammeter and as well as the voltmeter. I am going to demonstrate how to convert galvanometer into voltmeter. So click link 2. This will direct you to the OLabs portal for the conversion of galvanometer to voltmeter experiment. So if you see, for every experiment, we provide all the necessary resources that is required for a student or a teacher to understand the complete concept about that particular experiment. Coming to the theory section, in the theory, first of all, we have given what is the objective of performing that particular experiment. So here what we are going to do is, we are converting a given galvanometer of a known resistance and a figure of merit into a voltmeter of a desired range. Now, we'll also provide all the theoretical aspects which are required for the student to understand the concept of that particular experiment will be given, like the necessary formulas that is required to convert a galvanometer into a voltmeter, and also the important observations that will come into this particular experiment, all will be given under the theory section. And also all the experiments under virtual labs are prepared strictly aligning to the NCERT lab manual content. So the learning outcomes are also mapped to the NCERT lab manual content. Next we have the procedure. So if you see in the procedure section, we are showing what are all the materials required for performing that particular experiment. And also in all the physics experiments, it's really important to have the circuit diagram. So the circuit diagram is also shown. The simulations in DIKSHA virtual labs actually mimics the real lab. We have created this particular simulation environment so as the student or the teacher should get the exact experience of performing that particular experiment in a real lab. So therefore the procedure for performing that experiment in the real lab is also given, and also how to do that experiment in the simulator is also given. And also whatever the necessary observations and calculations that will come into that experiment also will be shown in the procedure. And also it is more importantly, it is like for performing certain experiments, we need to take some precautions. That precautions also will be given in the procedure section. Now coming to the animation section. So before a student performing the experiment in the simulator, he or she can actually get a better understanding on how to perform it on a simulator by watching the animation video. The animation video basically constitutes of the theory, relevant theory related to that experiment, and also how to do the actual procedure on how to do that particular experiment in a simulator. Student or any user can watch as many times they want and then perform the experiment in a simulator for a better understanding. Now let us watch the animation for a while. Yes.
Conversion of galvanometer to voltmeter. Aim: to convert the given galvanometer of known resistance and figure of merit into a voltmeter of desired range, say 0 to 3 volt, and to verify the same. Materials required: a galvanometer of known resistance and figure of merit, a battery eliminator, one-way key, a rheostat. Procedure: take a galvanometer with known value of resistance G and figure of merit K. Note the total number of divisions N on either side of the zero of galvanometer. Calculate IG. Connect the high resistance box in series with the galvanometer and take out the plugs of calculated resistance R. Tighten rest of the plugs in the resistance box. The galvanometer remove the insulating layer, if any. Using the connecting wires, connect the positive terminal of the battery eliminator to the lower fixed terminal of the rheostat. Connect the positive terminal of the voltmeter to the same lower end of the rheostat. From this terminal of rheostat, make another connection to the positive terminal of converted galvanometer. Insulated resistance R from the resistance box connected in series to the galvanometer. Ensure that the connections are tight and insert the key. Type least count of the converted voltmeter. Calculate the difference between the readings of voltmeter and galvanometer as the error. Move the rheostat slider and take few more observations covering the whole range of voltmeter, that is 0 to 3 volts.
Now let's move to the Viva section. So a student, after performing the experiment, can do a self-assessment of their knowledge level on what they have gained after doing this particular experiment by attempting these Viva questions. We provide a set of 10 to 15 questions in this. So the student can click on the answers. Finally, if they click on the submit button, if the answers are right, it will show a tick mark, and if the answers are wrong, it will show a cross mark. So by this way, the system enables the student a way to improve their knowledge levels in this particular experiment by making them do as many times. They can practice as many times they want until they get a satisfaction level that they've understood the concepts well about this experiment. Yeah. Now under this resources, so whatever web sources or books or manuals that we have referred to prepare the contents for this particular experiment are listed under this resources section. Now coming to the feedback. So it's really important for us to understand the user perspective of this user perspective about the platform so that we can do continuous enhancement and improvement to the platforms. So we have a set of questions regarding the platform and the user experience, where the user can, after doing the experiments, they can answer these questions in this feedback section. And we would definitely consider all these and do these improvements as and when required. Yes. Now let's move on to the simulator, where actually the student performs the experiment.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the simulation window for the conversion of galvanometer to the voltmeter experiment. So on the left side, there is a controls. Here you can select the galvanometer that you want to perform the experiment on. I am selecting galvanometer 1 here. And whatever the necessary parameters are required, that is also given in the left side controls. So to perform this experiment, the first step that we have to do is to calculate the resistance R using the formula V by Ig minus G. Okay, so all these required values are given here. So I am typing the value 4920 here. So the user can give an input value for the resistance. Click on the submit icon. If it is correct, it will show a tick mark. You can click on the next icon. That will direct you to the simulation screen where you are actually going to perform the experiment. You could see a white checkbox here. If you click this, the circuit diagram will be visible. So for those students who want to look at the circuit diagram and do the connections, they can do it like that. Also, we are providing help tab. So if you click this, it will show step-by-step instructions for doing the connections as and when the experiment is progressing. Now let us do the connections. Okay, so now the connections are complete. So as discussed initially, we have arrived at the resistance of 4920 ohms. So now we have to select this resistance here, 4920, yes. Now we can insert the key. Now we can adjust the rheostat resistance. You could see deflections in both galvanometer and voltmeter. There is a tabular column here. We can insert the values. Click on this plus icon. A table will be generated. We can start, the user can input the values here. So the number of divisions in the galvanometer. First one is the number of divisions in the galvanometer. It is showing 5. Input 5 here. And the next one is the potential difference, which is calculated by a formula, n into the least count. Least count is given here, 0.1. So the value from the voltmeter is almost, it is 0.5. So the standard value from the voltmeter is 0.5. Now again we can adjust the rheostat, resistance in the rheostat. Likewise we can start adding the values here. It will give the error values. So this is all about the physics experiment, conversion of galvanometer to voltmeter. Now let's move to one of the chemistry experiment.
Okay, please proceed. Okay.
In class 10. Yeah. Go to DIKSHA portal again. Go to grade 10. Click on the explore icon. Click on the English medium. Click on science. It will direct you to the science experiment page. I'm going to demonstrate the forming capacity of different kinds of soaps. Yes. Click on the particular experiment. In this experiment PDF section, it will show the lab manual content. Go straight to the explanation resources. Scroll up. A screen like this will be visible. click on this link. It will direct you to the experiment page. Let me jump directly to the simulation window. Yes, this is the simulation window where the student can perform the experiment, compare the forming capacity of different samples of soap. So on the left side, in the controls, whatever necessary materials required for this experiment is there. Again, the help tab is here. It will show the step-by-step instruction. Those who want, they can use this help tab and do the experiment. Yeah. So the first step is click on the soap to select. So whichever soap we want to select, among these 4 samples, we can select. Next step is, click on the soap. Now click on the filter paper. Keep it on the balance. Click on the tare icon. Tare button of the weighing balance. Now drag and drop the soap onto the weighing balance. It shows the weight. Now transfer this particular soap to the beaker containing water. Click on the glass rod. It is completely soluble in the water. We can repeat the experiment with other sample of a soap. Click the soap and place it onto the glass plate. Transfer the filter paper onto the weighing balance. Click on the tare button. Drag and drop the soap onto the weighing balance. It shows the weight of that particular soap. Transfer it to the beaker containing water. Click on the glass rod. So from this experiment, it shows how to compare the forming capacity of different samples of soap. Let me now move on to a math experiment.
Okay.
For class 9. So come to the virtual lab C content in the DIKSHA portal. Go to grade 9, click on the explore icon, click on the English medium icon, select mathematics. It will direct you to the experiment page. So I am demonstrating the experiment area of the trapezium. Select that particular experiment. Again, we provide the explanation resources and also the lab's content. So let us straight away go to the lab content. Click on the explanation resources. Click on the experiment. Scroll up. Click on this link, area of trapezium. I'm jumping straight away to the simulation. So this is the simulation window for the experiment area of the trapezium. So basically the objective of performing this particular experiment is to prove that the area of the trapezium is equal to half the product of its altitude and sum of its parallel sides. So you could see all the prerequisite knowledge that the student want to know before performing the experiment is also given. Click on the start. So this is the workbench for performing this particular experiment. So on the left side in the instruction panel, all the necessary instructions that are required to perform the experiment is given. The student can input the values for the trapezium here, that is the base length and also the height. The student can enter the dimensions for the trapezium. Let me move with this default value now. If the student is giving a wrong correction, wrong values, then that will be indicated here. So let me proceed with this default values. Here you could see a draw trapezium icon. Click on that. So you can see that trapezium is generated on the workbench. Now let us click on this trapezium to generate a replica of this trapezium. So now you could see two trapezium here. One is ABCD and one is PQRS. Now what we have to do is place this trapezium in such a way that the BC is parallel to the side SP of the other trapezium. So now you can see that the new parallelogram ASPD, the whole parallelogram ASPD formed is by combining the two trapeziums ABCD and BSPC. Click on the next icon. So the area of the trapezium ABCD is half the area of the whole parallelogram ASPD. Thus, it is proved. So that's all from my side. So I would like to invite my colleague, Ms. Reshma Bose, to demonstrate biology and English labs. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Srikala ji. And I'm sure Dr. Sharma, while they are changing the place, to show the experiments further. अगर ये क्लास होती एंड आई एम श्योर कि जो एक इंटरेक्शन होता है टीचर्स के साथ, बच्चे ये पूछते ज़रूर कि मैम व्हाई डिड वी यूज़ दिस फिल्टर पेपर इन दिस एक्सपेरिमेंट ऑफ केमिस्ट्री, कि सोप तो हमें सब घर में यूज़ करते ही हैं, वो डिजॉल्व हो जाता है वाटर में, बट व्हाई आर वी यूजिंग दिस फिल्टर पेपर. तो मुझे लगता है वो एक ऐसा टाइम होता है, और ये जो कंटेंट हमने डेवलप किया है ये लर्निंग बाय डूइंग के लिए बिल्कुल परफेक्ट है. और क्या इसकी ज़रूरत हमें पहले थी या नहीं थी, थोड़ा लेट हुआ, या जो एक्सपेरिमेंट्स अब आ रहे हैं वो क्या कितने लाभदायक हैं?
डेफिनेटली राहुल जी, कंटेंट तो जब भी मिले तभी उसकी ज़रूरत होती है
जी.
तो जितना जल्दी एक कंटेंट बच्चों को मिलेगा डेफिनेटली उतना जल्दी वो और अच्छे से एक्सपेरिमेंट जो है वो कर पाएंगे. एंड एज श्रीकला हैज़ आल्सो मेंशन्ड कि जैसा एनईपी में तो कहा ही गया है, और उसके अलावा भी जहाँ पे कभी लैब्स की प्रॉब्लम है तो बच्चे जो हैं वो एक्सपेरिमेंट को वर्चुअली परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं. और जहाँ पे लैब्स हैं भी, सो बिफोर गोइंग देयर एज आई हैव आल्सो सेड दैट स्पेसिफिकली इन केस ऑफ केमिकल रिएक्शंस ना, कभी केमिकल्स हमारे पास लिमिटेड मात्रा में होता है, कभी डेंजरस होता है, सो हमें उसके प्रिकॉशंस वर्चुअली तो हम कितने भी बार उसको एक्सपेरिमेंट करें हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, है ना. सो वी शुड ट्रेन आवरसेल्फ इनफ virtually and then we would proceed to the physical experiment if you have the physical labs. So definitely कंटेंट जो है वो बच्चों के लिए और टीचर्स के लिए बहुत ही लाभदायक है, और उसमें क्लासेस में इंटरेक्टिविटी लाने के लिए बच्चों का थोड़ा इंटरेस्ट उसमें ज़्यादा बढ़े प्रैक्टिकल्स में. तो और ये मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि ये कंटेंट है दिस इज जो कि हमारे लैब मैनुअल्स हैं, लेबोरेटरी मैनुअल्स जो एनसीईआरटी ने बनाए हैं डिफरेंट क्लासेस के लिए, ये उन्हीं को ध्यान में रखते हुए ये वर्चुअल लैब्स जो है वो दीक्षा पे बनाई जा रही है.
All right, thank you very much. So let's move ahead and we'll connect to Miss Reshma Bose. Miss Reshma, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So,
And a warm good morning to all the teachers present here.
thank you.
So, shall we start with?
Yes, please.
So, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so if the teacher, any teacher has joined now, I'll just explain. We are accessing virtual labs through DIKSHA platform. This is how the platform looks like through Google. You can search for, type DIKSHA and search for it, and this is how the platform opens up. The second last icon, if you click on it, it shows virtual lab and you can explore. Once you click on explore, you are taken to the virtual labs platform, and everything is clearly given, and all the teachers by now are aware of the importance of virtual labs, and using digital is a term that is often used everywhere, and it needs no explanation now. So this is, everything is explained in this as per the NEP. All the labs are aligned with NCERT, and there are different subjects available from 6th up to 12th in Hindi and English medium. So Hindi medium we'll be gradually adding on to by next year. So today we'll check on the English medium content of biology. Now today I'm going to show you class 9 biology. To access it, click on explore icon, and then you'll see two mediums. Click on English medium. Subjects open up: mathematics, science and English. Click on science. So this is how the page looks like. The manuals are clearly given. Now my experiment is experiment number 22. So as a teacher, before going to class, I'll make sure that I go through the experiments.
Right.
So if you have a smart class in your school, you can always utilize this, or even the labs. So if you know the experiment number, this can be included in your lesson plan. So once you know the experiment number, today I'm going to show you the experiment. Test the presence of starch in food sample. So here you can see all the experiments are listed. Now when I click on this, video opens up. This is one way of showing it to the students in the class. Otherwise, you can click on this, remember this book icon, click on that, scroll up. Now there are two parts because we are showing food sample test presence of starch and methanol yellow. So two experiments are given. So teachers, before going to the class, they should be prepared on which link you have to click in. So here I am checking the part 1 and it takes me to the experiments page. This is how the page looks like. And this provides you with a complete lab learning experience. So teachers, when you go to the class, if this is demonstrated in the class, this itself is enough for you to grab the attention of the students. So first is the theory, wherein the objective, the definitions, and what is the result, start solution, and what is the result that you get, as well as the learning outcomes. All this is clearly explained in the theory section for the experiment detection of starch in food samples. Next is the procedure. Now when you show this in the class, materials required can be easily shown in the class. Now when you show this, after showing this, you can ask, so questions can be framed. That is what is mainly CBSE is asking you to do. Frame the questions, bring in participation from the children. So this is one way of doing that. So show this, and then you can make questions based on this. After that, the procedure can be explained using the real lab procedure. Simulator procedure is also explained for the user to use the simulator. Then the observation, inference, what is the result, and the precautions, which is very important when the students go to the real lab. So before going to the lab session, a real lab session, this can be shown. Next is the animation. So animation can be used to grab the attention of the child. They find it really interesting when they watch the animation. Let's watch it.
Detection of starch in food samples. To do the experiment, we require distilled water, beaker, potatoes, tile, knife, iodine solution, test tube, glass rod, muslin cloth.
So while showing the video itself, questions can be framed and children can be involved. So the labs are prepared in such a way that in each and every process you can involve the child, make sure the class is interactive and fun.
Take a potato and place it on the tile using a knife. Using 5 minutes, cloth to it. the dropper. Solution.
So I'm sure when the child watches this, half of the class will understand what the real learning outcome from this experiment is. But actually we do focus on all the children in the class. There might be few children who find it still difficult to understand. So bringing them into the same level as of other children is the focus of each teacher. So here videos is also provided wherein the real lab experiments are shown, how it is to be performed in the lab.
Food is the main source of chemical energy for all living beings.
So as you can see, the explanation is given.
Pectin. We can use iodine solution to test for the presence of starch in a given knife, test tubes and test tubes.
The explanation on how to do the procedure is shown in the real lab setting.
Now, filter the solution through this. Add a couple of drops of iodine reagent to the test solution. The presence of starch in the solution.
Now, precautions, very important when going to the real lab, are also explained.
Solution carefully as it is toxic if swallowed or inhaled.
So once the animation and the video is shown, 100% of the students will understand what the actual experiment is about. Now next is the simulator part. Let's do and see. Now on the left side of your screen you see the affordances. From that already the type of test iodine is given, food samples are given, and here the best part is the students can do the experiment and then check the result. Let's try with few. I'm taking the carrot extract, drag the dropper, place it back. That is important. Now check, you can check with the children whether the solution has changed color. If yes, they can click on yes. If no, no. So here the solution has not changed the color, so I click on no. See, the answer is correct. Let me take another sample. Let's say wheat. Drag and placing it back. That is actually important. So that's why this step was given here. So it has changed the color. Now the color has changed, but what happens if I give no here? See, the answer is wrong. So if the child is distracted, that also can be found out when this experiment is being done. So the answer is yes, but being distracted, the child might click on no. So the answer is yes. So this can be redone by clicking on the reset button, and help is also provided, and this experiment can be saved. That option is also provided here. So once the theory, procedure, animation, simulator and video is done, comes the assessment of how much the student understood the concept. Now let's say, let's click on few answers. Let's see. Submit. Now if the child got the answer right, the green tick appears. The answer is wrong, a red cross appears. That can be, the child can redo that same question.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Reshma, would you please proceed ahead, because we have hardly 4 minutes for the last simulation.
So, so resources and feedback was already explained. Now let me take you to the, let me take you to the next experiment, that is English for class 8.
Okay.
Here is the experiment for class 8. Now the experiment is learning prepositions. Click on lab. The other one was simulator, but in English it is lab. Click on lab. Here explanations are given, activity area. So Children can read and do it. Since we are running short of time, I'll go fast. So I'm ready.
Okay, please.
Start.
Okay.
Okay, now. So this is what I have to do. I have to drag and place the ball. Now, the question appears here, as you can see. Place the ball between the wall painting and the clock. Here. The answer is right.
Okay.
Congratulations. The answer is right. Now let me see what happens when I say a wrong answer. Place the ball between the family portrait and the clock. If I do the wrong answer, with a smile it says incorrect. So we can redo once again. So this motivates the children. Even if they go wrong, they can definitely try out again and again. So that's all from my side. So teachers, please do explore the labs. There are a lot more labs because of the shortage of time. I'm stopping here and wishing everyone a very happy new year. Thank you so much for having us here from Team Amrita. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Reshma and Ms. Srikala ji. Thank you very much for these simulations to be shared, to have shared with us. Thank you very much. Dr. Sharma, this is the time to conclude the third session of this series. कल क्या होने वाला है?
So definitely we also enjoyed all these experiments, especially the English, the last one, because the children can do the activity by dragging.
Right.
They then know the sentences
Right.
about the proportion and the location of the sentences. Okay, where we put that ball. So it was really nice, and in other subjects also. So tomorrow again we will be repeating some more experiment. We will be discussing some more learning in these sessions, and specifically for ePathshala AR. So you can download that app. Sorry. So you can download that app, and the content is also available on the DIKSHA portal. And virtual lab, as we are just demonstrating sample of labs, but all these labs are available on the DIKSHA. So please go through the labs and perform these virtual labs at your own places in the classes. So definitely tomorrow will be more labs and more experiments from the augmented reality that we are going to do.
All right. Thank you very much for this wonderful information, Dr. Sharma. आप यहाँ तक आए उसके लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत आभार. और डियर व्यूअर्स, हमारा ये सेशन हम यहीं समाप्त करेंगे. कल फिर होगी मुलाकात इसी समय इसी चैनल पर, कहीं मत जाइएगा. ये पूरा वेबिनार का सीरीज जो है चल रहा है. थर्ड सेशन आज कंक्लूड किया है. टुमारो विल बी द फोर्थ. So don't go away. Keep watching. Stay tuned. eVidya channels and NCERT's official YouTube channel. Namaskar.